there is a tradition when celebrating, the Republic Day of India. It's an event where there's a lot of celebrations and a lot of recognitions also for the best things people do in various, aspects of their life. We have seen, that we had small children, they participating. We saw our sponsors, and at this moment, in the real spirit of celebrating the Republic Day of India, we have one which just at age of 13 years, a teenager who met once his aunt in Jaipur, where he got the first experience of sharing and giving. This teenager saw those school-going children, those coming from underprivileged families, couldn't afford even a pencil, but they had that zeal to learn how to help them. Look at this 13 years old mind, what he just thought of. He says, how about if we grow a tree and start planting, the pencils? And he really started a tree. He started, getting those pencils on that, and he started planting those pencils. Not only in India, but he has spread his wing to another area in Africa. Don't you feel proud when I present to you this 13 years mind in the name of Ishaan Patel?
All right.
He has something to share with you.
First, I would like to thank all of you for giving me the opportunity to share my vision with you. A special thanks goes to my parents, who are first-generation immigrants from Gujarat, India, and continue to inspire my sister and I every day with not only their drive and determination, but their compassion and caring for others. They lead by example and expect us to do the same. A pencil to most is a basic tool for writing and creating, but to me, a pencil is a symbol of hope, a symbol that represents education, knowledge, and the empowerment to change one's future. A well-known Chinese proverb states, "Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, but teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime." What exactly does this mean? I take it to mean that education is a priceless commodity. Education gives one power. Power to change his or her destiny. Power to protect one's family. Power to fight poverty and hunger. And power to fight abuse. A few years back, my aunt traveled to India to volunteer at a rudimentary school in Jaipur, India. They taught basic English and math to primary school students who were orphans and street kids. These children had no other access to a school and would have otherwise remained uneducated. The school composed of 2 very small rooms in a run-down building with a small chalkboard on the wall. The children sat on the floor or sometimes on a thin blanket on the ground. Oftentimes, the classes were held outside, because the space was very crowded and the heat was unbearable. These children had no clean water to drink or wash with, and very little to eat. When my aunt came back from her trip, she showed us pictures and asked us to collect basic school supplies so we could ship them to the school. When the children opened the boxes of pencils, notebooks, and other supplies, they were so excited. That image touched all of our hearts. Over the last few years, with the help of donors and supporters, that small school has now expanded to a newly built larger school. They can offer their classes to many more orphans and street kids. The new upgraded classes are bigger with more space for learning and teaching, and bright, colorful desks for the children. They have clean drinking water and clean water to wash their hands and decrease the spread of germs. The original students from the old school continue to attend classes and have advanced their knowledge quite a bit. They now know how to read, write, and speak in both English and Hindi. They have learned basic math skills and even algebra. They learn science and social studies, and most importantly, they are now healthy and thriving. That pencil that was planted years ago has now grown and flourished. Without this opportunity to attend school and learn, many of these children would not be alive today. They would have lost the fight with poverty, hunger, and disease. They now have the ability to get a job, protect themselves and their family, and contribute to society. This is just one example that shows that education can change the life of a child so dramatically. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Be the change that you wish to see in the world." In an effort to do just that, I have founded an organization dedicated to raising awareness and collecting support for underfunded schools in the United States and around the world. This organization is called Planting Pencils, and through it I am hoping to use the seed of education to grow and empower children around the world. Through Planting Pencils, we can give the gift of education to many others and give them the power of a pencil. Thank you.
This won't help. He needs a standing ovation.